Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's video in which we'll discuss this bit of news, the early release for Xbox One. It's finally here. We've been waiting for this announcement for quite a while. They have been working on this for a long time, behind the scenes of course, as we all know. And it's finally here. Let's take a look at this intro video for the Xbox players and see what else they have to say.
We've been expanding the game universe. We want to share the game's greatness and diversity with you. In theaters of battle we all know from history to those we can only imagine. Over 600 aircraft. From biplanes of the 30s, through the glorious warbirds of the 40s, up to the subsonic jets of the 50s. Encounter over 400 ground vehicles. From the early vehicles of World War II, to amphibious tanks, and to the guided rocket-armed vehicles of the Cold War. Warships have made their debut, completing the air, land, and sea battle formula. Choose the iconic vehicles, or the unusual ones. They all have a role to play. In the upcoming global conflict, everyone is important. Every detail matters. The battle has no end. New nations, new territories, and new vehicles will soon be with us. Find victory in the massive diversity of War Thunder.
Well, that was quite nice, quite a good comprehensive presentation of what War Thunder has to offer. We announced the early access release of War Thunder for Xbox One. New forces in battles. Xbox players will have the opportunity to participate in battles with PC players. Xbox One X owners will be able to enjoy 4K resolution. Of course, they have several vehicles on offer for the release. On packs that the Xbox owners and players can buy if they want to play War Thunder at the moment. It is early release right now. It will not be free right now. If you want to join, you have to pay for one of these packs. And later on in the year, they will release Xbox One Access free. The free-to-play game version will then come out. So the early release packs for Xbox One include access to the Naval Forces CBT, unique decals and titles, and also exclusive vehicle models for the console. Among them are the prototypes of the Abrams tank, the XM1, the F4U-4B fighter, the American destroyer USS Bennion, and other famous vehicles. Naval battles in War Thunder will be available on Xbox throughout the whole CBT, so they can actually help perfect the naval part of the game. That's good. The end of early release and the launch of the free-to-play version is planned to take place later this year. Now they have a little bit of a Q&A here. Question: when will War Thunder be available on Xbox One? Right now, 3 early access War Thunder bundles featuring exclusive special DLC and unique in-game titles and decals are available in the Xbox Store. General availability free-to-play will begin later this year. And the packs have different prices ranging from 20 euros to 100 euros, and depending on what you pay, you will get more nice goodies. Of course, there is a little bit of a, there is something to say for the vehicles that they have on offer here. Let's see what the second question is. What exclusive content is included in the Xbox One version for War Thunder? They will receive naval closed beta access, and several premium vehicles will be made exclusively available in the Xbox Store as part of the early access bundles. The USS Banyan Destroyer, the F4U-4B Corsair, the XM-1 Chrysler tank, and the M5A1. And this is a later tier tank, and this is a later tier fighter, and the problem with these kind of premiums for new players is that they start playing this premium fighter that they got, and then have an experience of being shot down a lot, of course. So for any Xbox One players that are thinking of buying these packs and playing War Thunder already, I would advise you not to start flying in your newly bought premium, but wait a little bit before flying and taking them out until you have some experience with either flying or tanking or with early boats, because especially flying and tanking, there's a lot of experienced players. I mean, that the naval is a little bit newer for everybody, although there's already players who have more experience with that. But in air and in ground battles, you will have a lot of players that are experienced, and if you are going to go into later tiers with your premiums as a new player, you're going to be destroyed. It's going to be frustrating, and you might get a bad first impression of the game. I would advise you to start in tier 1, fly some biplanes out, have some fun with some of your friends, and later, when you have some experience in tier 2, maybe tier 3 planes, I would advise you to fly this out. Same for tanks, although I don't play tanks myself, but it's the same experience. The further you get, the more experienced players are, and the more you get your ass kicked if you start in this thing. So think about that. I mean, I would advise you to do whatever you want with buying stuff, but if you have some spare income laying around, then these are some nice vehicles, but you don't have the experience to use the vehicles correctly yet. So there's that. How does War Thunder on Xbox Live differ from versions on other platforms? They are the same on all platforms and have the same server even. Across network restrictions do apply, so Xbox One players cannot play against PS4 players, only against PC players. Can the Xbox players play together with users from other platforms? Yeah, on the PC. And they have the option to enable cross-network play. If they don't do that, they can only play against other Xbox players. But it's of course nicer to have a bigger pool of people, and I would advise them to play against everybody, because then your queue times will be less long. There are restrictions for playing on the Xbox One alone, and cross-network disabled, let's say. You can only go into air and ground arcade mode. You have 3 modes in War Thunder: arcade, realistic, and sim. And you cannot access realistic and sim then. And you can also access air and ground assault game modes. This is PvE gameplay in the game, which you can use to get rewards and stuff like that. But yeah, only arcade though available for if it's not cross-network enabled. So that's another reason you should have cross-network enabled. Absolutely, because you want to play realistic and maybe you want to play sim. Who knows? You cannot swap accounts if you're a PC player and you want to play on the Xbox, you have to start a new account. Xbox Live is necessary, and the game will be free though. So yeah, you pay for your gold subscription, but you do not have to pay for the game. Of course, the game is free. Is War Thunder Xbox One X enhanced? Yes, they get 4K resolutions with enhanced lighting and shadows. And they go on with some detailed questions about the Xbox controllers, tournaments, and stuff like that. Short answers, they're working on a lot of stuff, but the most important questions were those first ones, which I wanted to get into. You cannot get mouse and keyboard on the Xbox One right now, but in the future, they work on that. But all in all, it looks pretty nice, and this will bring in a new flux of players, especially when the free-to-play part of the game comes out. And hopefully that will be soon, because there is a pay gap, a paywall right now for people, and it might still scare most people off right now. But who knows? We'll see. In the end, it will be a free release. This is early release, and the free-to-play version of the game will come soon. Guys, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.